What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Norse Outdoors. My name is Alex. I'm up here with 3 other guys that are part of the crew doing some ice fishing up here, mainly targeting walleye. So today, what we're gonna do is we're gonna break down like what we use. Rods, reels, line, lures, what depth we're fishing in, and how we're catching these walleyes. More of like a tactical approach onto what kind of hardware we use. So this is RJ. He'll also be helping me break some stuff down. And stay tuned, it's gonna be a fun one.
Alright, what is up, guys? I'm RJ. I'm out here fishing the Northland Tackle Rattling Puppet Minnow. I like to rig it with a head on both that bottom hook and a tail on that back hook. You just take one minnow, pinch it in half. That's what we got. I'm fishing it in this kind of perchy fire tiger color. I like a lot of the Rattling Puppet Minnow colors, but my top 3 are probably perch, gold, and pink. But so as far as rods and line, we have the Wicked medium combo. So we're rocking the Wicked reel and the Wicked 28-inch medium here. And as far as line goes, there's 2 key things here. So we're using this ice braid. This is 8-pound ice braid. I think this is the equivalent diameter of 2-pound monofilament. Let's see here. This isn't exactly what I'm using yet, but. And then another critical thing here that I like to recommend people do when you're fishing with these minnow type baits is include a swivel in your line. You can use that as kind of a gap between your leader, or you can even attach it right to the top of your bait if you have a split ring. In this case I don't, but these baits with that tail on there, like think about like the tiki minnow or any of those other baits like the jig and wrap, they move in wide circles under your hull, and that can spin up your line pretty bad. Now that's my jigging rod, and I've caught a lot of fish on this trip, including a nice slot walleye, which you'll see here. Alrighty guys, I'm fishing with the Northland Tackle Rattling Puppet Minnow
On Adrian's Road.
on Adrian's Road. This feels like a good fish.
Right there.
I think it's a walleye. He's head shaking a lot. He's getting close. He could actually be a pike.
5 feet. He's not a pike. He's not a pike.
Oh,
He's
it's a good walleye.
It's a good walleye. Oh, that's the critical point. Get the head.
Go.
That is a nice walleye. Wow. Oh.
No. Oh, yes.
No, get him. I got him.
Wow, he's not even that nice.
I mean, that's good.
No, I was hoping for like a slot.
Alright, so there's that Rattling Puppet Minnow. Kevin, your boom.
Perch color. Once I switched to perch, I started catching more fish.
Look at that. That's a beautiful
nice
walleye.
fish.
They also are hitting the perch.
We're gonna bump him?
Yeah, bump him. I think he'll be close to 20. Oh, no, he's not. Okay.
Wow. That's a.
There you go, all in.
But here is my dead stick. Now, Gus has a much more traditional dead stick than me. Here I'm rocking the 1/24 ounce Acme Castmaster. What we've done here is increase the size of the treble hook, because the one it comes with is pretty small. And then we just tip it with a fat head. Now, the Castmaster, a lot of people might think, oh, it's casting bait, it's whatever, for trout. Literally, we just put this down here. This fat head is alive, and he kicks down there for you. And that spoon, which also glows, just gives that little extra bit of action. And that weight is just enough to keep it kind of pinned down there. So those fish see that little fat head swimming around there. He's helpless. He can't go anywhere. He eats him. Now, as far as the rod, this is the Elliott rod. I believe it's the same one Gus is using. Has that soft tip, which makes it really good for dead sticking. Fish can grab it, pull on, and it's kind of the same effect as you would get from a bobber, where the fish can take it down and they don't feel the weight of the rod until I set the hook on them. But when you have a softer rod like this, you want to make sure to give it a pretty big hook set, because that first inch or two, you're not really going anywhere due to that soft tip.
The middle's definitely worse.
Wow, that's pretty fair. I feel like he's gonna eat this thing.
Give it a little.
I get it.
He's coming up with it. Oh, nice.
Alright, you guys, so that 1/24 ounce Castmaster I just showed you, here's a fish on it. That's that exact same fat head that we just looked at, and that exact same rod. So that upgraded treble hook, I like to let him eat it for a little bit, even with the upgraded treble hook, because it's still a decent sized presentation. But yeah, as you can see, right there on the top lip, that bait. Now I'm just gonna give it a little more glow with the UV light and put it back down. Now as far as line, we're rocking the 8-pound ice braid, which I'll show you guys here. Now this is also a 2-pound mono equivalent. I really like ice braid. My only caveat is you can't fish it outside. If you're fishing in sub-zero temperatures, this ice braid just catches that water on there and freezes up really bad. It'll get caught in your reel, it'll be anywhere. But inside the shack, total game changer, makes your hook sets amazing. And we're going straight to that 6-pound Suffix Ice Magic leader line here. Really like this stuff. I don't know how much the leader makes a difference, but I would never fish straight braid, so I recommend you guys check that stuff out. Let's get back to fishing.
Alright, I'm Gus. We've been catching a lot of fish up at Lake of the Woods, and this is what I've been using. So let's start with the most simple, time-tested bait. It's jigging a minnow, just tipped with the fat head through the mouth. I make sure to put it on the keeper hook on the bottom so it stays on nice and tight. And then this one's a little special because it has a nice rattle. So that's what I've been using on a nice medium weight rod with just a simple spinning reel with some braids so it doesn't get all twisted when it goes down. I also like to use a leader that's 6 to 8 pounds. That's generally the theme for all of these. Next, this has been a fun one. We like to use rip and wraps because they're loud. And this is a little smaller one, so it's actually been touching a lot of tulipy, smaller sauger, and walleye. Won't hesitate just to smoke it. Same thing, leader. This is actually using a Black Betty, which is a nice reel. Not my preferred for this application, but it would be good for panfish. Finally, we got the classic dead stick. So you just got treble hook and a fat head, real natural presentation, with just 2 split shots to make sure it gets down quick if you're in 30 feet of water, so you don't want to waste time having it drop. I would have a longer leader, but we've been using a lot over the trip, so it's a little short. Same thing, ice braid. And this is a nice dead sticking rod because it has a nice soft tip, so when it's in the holder, you'll see it'll start pulling on it, and then you can react appropriately before the fish knows. Well, we know, so then we can be on the top of the fish. So that's what I'm using. It's been working pretty well. A lot of big fish, a lot of numbers. So hopefully that helps.
Hi, I'm Gavin, and my favorite setups to use on Lake of the Woods are the tip up and then the spade bait. The reason why we're running tip ups this year is we had 4 guys in the shack. It's a great opportunity to get outside, make your spread a little bit bigger, and then get some, big fat heads or shiners for those walleye that roll through. I like to do just a nice smaller treble hook, 8-pound leader, and then 16 inches away I do like a 1/4 ounce split shot. Just that way, we want natural movement, natural presentation. That's what I'm targeting on the tip ups. Because in our shack we're throwing crazy baits, glowing, rattling, gliding, all that stuff. So that's why I like to go natural outside. And then on the inside, when I'm inside jigging, I like to do on a medium rod this nice little spade blade, I should say. We updated the treble hook. It's perch colored and it rattles. Great action, really attracts the fish.
All right, guys, so let me break it down what I'm using on this trip. So let's start with the rod. I have the 13 Fishing Microtech Walleye Series. I've got 2 different ones of those rods. I've got the medium heavy, 36 incher. I like to use jig and wraps, big rip and wraps on this bait. For this bait in particular, I'm going straight to braid. That's just because I like putting rip and wraps on there. Super sensitive, I do like that. The braid I'm using is Suffix 8-pound ice braid. It's a little bit cheaper than the stuff that RJ showed you, but I still like it. It's got some good value. Next, let's talk about the bait. So I have a UV Bright jigging wrap on. I've been playing around with different sizes and colors. The UV Bright works okay at Lake of the Woods, but I really like the glowing jigging wraps in a couple different sizes and colors. That's just because Lake of the Woods, the water's a little stained, so that glowing really brings fish in. Okay, my next rod definitely has been getting a lot more action than the jigging wraps or the rip and wraps. This is the 13 Microtech Walleye Series. It is a medium. It is a 28 inch. And I have that same ice braid going to a 6-pound ice leader. Still Suffix. Pretty much what everyone in the shack's been using. I really like this. Now, the connector type swivel that I'm using is this LED light. They are made by Joy Fishing. Little pro tip is they come from China, so it's gonna take 3 weeks for you to order these things. I ordered them in right after Christmas, and they didn't get into the middle of January. So order those way before your trip if you're looking to get those in. And then a couple different presentations that I put underneath the LED flashing light. It's either just a jig and a minnow. Gus showed you exactly what that setup is, or what I really like doing is a size 8 treble hook just to a fat head. And then I put a little split shot right above the treble hook it keeps the minnow like pinned down to a spot, and it really like entices those lethargic walleye that don't want to chase a bait around. So this setup has definitely caught me the most fish by far this trip.
All right, guys. Not 10 seconds after that prior fish, Al's hooked up. Looks like a giant. Look at that bend in his rod. Parabolic.
So bendy.
This could be the biggest fish of the trip. That's why I'm helping him out. Landing. Oh.
Ow.
Believe it or not, he's rocking pretty much the exact same setup. So,
Except for under a disco LED light.
so you can tell that's been working for us.